Okay, now you can start that. Are we starting now?
Yes, we are starting immediately.
Okay, good.
Okay, welcome everybody to this 17th session of online Srimad Bhagavad Gita Parayan and Satsang, which we've been holding for the past 3 years online. This is going to be the 17th. That is basically we're completing the whole of the Bhagavad Gita in 18 sessions. So this is the penultimate session, and so by the grace of Lord Krishna, we have reached this far. So we have only one more session to go before the actual Mokshada Ekadashi, where we will do a full Sampurna Gita Parayan. So that will happen on the 4th of December. So that is almost 1 month from here, around 3 weeks from here, from today. Yeah, so without much ado, let us get started. Today we have Karthik ji from Dakshina Bharat Brahma Sabha as the guest of honor, and we have Swami Samasitananda ji as the speaker for today. And we are honored by the presence of Swami ji and also that of Karthik ji. So welcome to everybody, all the chanters, as well as our guest of honor, as well as Swami ji. So over to now we will get started with the invocation prayers, and this will be initially will be done by Padminiji, right?
Oh. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopashantaye. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhirbhavatu me sada. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Thank you, Padminiji, for that beautiful chanting. Now we will have the welcome address by our guest of honor for today, Karthik ji. Karthik ji is a very, very long associate of Gita Jayanti and also the president of Dakshina Bharat Brahma Sabha. So we are waiting, listening, waiting for your wisdom, words of wisdom for today. Thanks. Over to Karthik ji, please.
Thank you, Krishna Kumar ji. Hari Om and pranams to everyone. I want to start today's address by congratulating the Gita Jayanti committee for executing a flawless 25th year celebrations. I'm sure all of us are aware. And as Krishna Kumar ji said, it's the 17th session, so it's very nicely structured, having 18 Parayanams to match with the 18 chapters of the Gita. Thanks to the visionaries, actually, the flame that was lit in 1997 has been kept alive for 25 years. And this is possible because of this holy manual for life called Bhagavad Gita. It brings, and this has brought about all the Hindu organizations together, just as the thread, in a diamond necklace. So, and why is this manual required? Just as we need a manual for running any equipment very well, we also need, as human beings, we also need a manual for their smooth, his or her smooth running of their life and achieve their goal. And so it requires a manual, and that manual is basically the Gita. And the goal is moksha, and moksha is what? Emotional freedom or liberation from the samsara cycle. And the core teaching is Jnana Yoga, which is knowing one's true higher self, or you can call it Atman or Brahman, or basically the infinite. And chapter 13, 14, 15 are filled with this deep knowledge on this specific topic. Now, to get the qualifications to attain this knowledge, just as we all need some qualifications, if you're a doctor, you need to go and attend a medical college, just as that, Bhagavan recommends one to get the Chitta Shuddhi by Karma Yoga and the Chitta Ekagrita by Upasana Yoga. And to stay on this path, once you get this knowledge, to stay on this, the Sattvic life, to lead a Sattvic life, he's also given us the Sadgunas. Chapter 13, 16, 17 covers that in very great detail. Now, throughout the Gita, the topic of sannyasa, comes up very often. And Bhagavan keeps reminding us about the internal sannyasa, internal renunciation, and not the external renunciation, a trap that we quickly fall into. So moving on to chapter 18, which happens to be today's Parayan too, is what we can call a summary chapter. While chapter 2 can be equated to the TV headlines, in a news hour, chapter 18 is the concluding part of this specific news hour. And the chapter begins with Arjuna's question on the difference between sannyasa and yoga and tyaga. In a way, one can say that Arjuna is still not sure, still not fully clear about the sannyasa concept. And then Bhagavan, in his usual patience style, addresses this question by clearly telling that there is no difference between sannyasa and tyaga. Actually, verse 2 states that renunciation of desire born actions is sannyasa, and renunciation of the results of all actions is tyaga. He then reinforces and reiterates in the subsequent verses the importance of the obligations of yajna, dana, and tapaha, actions which are basically purifying in nature. So let us do our best on these three nitya karmas. As in chapter 2, he says, yoga karmasu kaushalam. So do your best on these three aspects of yajna, dana, and tapaha. And later on, as Krishna Kumarji said, we shall be blessed by Swami Samachittananda from the Ramakrishna Mission to talk more on the teachings in chapter 18. So I'm sure he is going to go in detail, and we'll have even more knowledge about the insights presented in chapter 18. So I shall conclude my introduction here. Prayers once again to Bhagavan to shower his abundant blessings on all of us to stay steadfast in this journey. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Hari Om. Back to you, Krishna Kumarji.
Thank you so much, Karthikji. You have put the, you have thrown so many of the key ideas of Bhagavad Gita into your very, very short speech. It's so amazing to bring in so many ideas in the same speech in such a short amount of time. And actually, very interestingly, the manual of life, Bhagavan says that, yandra ruthani maya, we are all like machines. So for all machines need a manual. Definitely we need a manual of life. So we are all machines in which Bhagavan is actually the controller. So the manual of life is how we should actually run this machine of life. And very interestingly, I've heard recently about Saint Francis of Assisi. He used to call this body as my brother donkey, So he used to call it my brother donkey was a word used by Saint Francis of Assisi to describe his own body, our own bodies. So basically, how to run this donkey properly, how to run this machine properly, you need a manual. So that is the whole idea. Yeah, okay. Now let us get back to our business. So Thank you once again, Kartiki. So now we have we'll have our Gita Dhyanam, and Gita Dhyanam will be chanted by Veena ji, and after that we'll have the actual chanting for portions for today, which is basically from chapter 18, verse 14 onwards, and after that we will have talk Gita Mahatmyam, and then followed by the talk by Swamiji. So over to Veena ji for the Dhyanam.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Darayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Mashtadashadhyayini Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishana Buddhe Pulnaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikaparnaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kausachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadronatata Jayatratha Gandharaneenotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachasaroja Mamalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Mudaha Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pratvausina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangullanghayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadair Gayanti Yausamaga Dhyanavasthita Tatkatena Manasa Pashyanti Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidussura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha.
Beautiful, beautiful, very beautifully chanted. Thanks, Vinaji. So today, now we are over to the actual chanting for today. Chanting portions for today. We will be chanting verses, only 32 verses today. So starting with verse 14 to verse 45 of chapter 18. So as we talked about earlier, this is the last but one session, and the next session will have another 32 verses. So that will start from about 46 to 78. So that will be the final session, which will happen after 2 weeks. So also please pay attention to the translations or the verses which are given for each of these verse. And as Karthik ji said beautifully, this chapter is a very, very important chapter, and it's a summary chapter of the whole Bhagavad Gita. It talks about very important ideas of sannyasa, tyaga, and all of and many other things. So please do pay attention to the chanting as well as to the meaning of the chanting, meaning of the verses. So now we will get to the chanting, and chanting will be starting by Rajita ji and it will be repeated by Lavda ji. Over to Rajita ji.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Adhishthānam tatha karta.
Adhishthānam tatha karta.
Karanam cha pridhak vidham.
Karanam cha prithak vidham.
Vividhāscha pridhak cheshtāha.
Vividhāscha prithak cheshtaha.
Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Adhishthānam tatha karta. Karanam cha pridhak vidham. Vividhāscha pridhak cheshtāha. Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Adhishthānam tatha karta. Karanam cha prithak vidham. Vividhāscha prithak cheshtaha. Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Shariravaṁ manobhiryat.
Shariravaṁ manobhiryat.
Karma prarabhate naraha.
Karma prarabhate naraha.
Nyayam va viparitam va.
Nyayam va viparitam va.
Panchaite tasya hetavaha.
Panchaite tasya hetavaha.
Shariravaṁ manobhiryat. Karma prarabhate naraha. Nyayam va viparitam va. Panchaite tasya hetavaha.
Shariravaṁ manobhiryat. Karma prarabhate naraha. Nyayam va viparitam va. Panchaite tasya hetavaha.
Tatraivam sati kartaram.
Tatraivam sati kartaram.
Atmanam kevalantu yaha.
Atmanam kevalantu yaha.
Pashyattyakrita buddhitvat.
Pashyattyakrita buddhitvat.
Na sa pashyati durmatihi.
Na sa pashyati durmatihi.
Tatraivam sati kartaram. Atmanam kevalantu yaha. Pashyattyakrita buddhitvat. Na sa pashyati durmatihi.
Tatraivam sati kartaram. Atmanam kevalantu yaha. Pashyattyakrita buddhitvat. न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः
बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते
बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते
हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान्
हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान्
न हन्ति न निबध्यते
न हन्ति न निबध्यते
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता
त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना
त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना
करणं कर्म कर्तेति
करणं कर्म कर्तेति
त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः
त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता
ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च
ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च
त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः
विधैव गुणभेदतः
प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्याने
प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्याने
यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि
यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि
ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्याने यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि
ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्याने यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं
नानाभावान् पृथक्विधान्
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानम् नानाभावान् पृथक्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन्
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च
अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
नियतं सङ्गरहितम्
नियतौ सङ्गरहितम्
अरागद्वेषतः कृतम्
अरागद्वेषतः कृतम्
अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म
अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म
यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
नियतं सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
नियतौ सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म
साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः
साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः
क्रियते बहुलायासम्
क्रियते बहुलायासम्
तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासम् तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासम् तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम्
अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम्
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
मोहादारभ्यते कर्म
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम् मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषं मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी
मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी
धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः
धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः
सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः
सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः
कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते
कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते
मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते
मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते
रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः
रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः
लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः
लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः
हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता
हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता
राजसः परिकीर्तितः
राजसः परिकीर्तितः
रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः
रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः
शठो नैष्कृतिको लसः
शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः
विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च
विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च
कर्ता तामस उच्यते
कर्ता तामस उच्यते
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिको लसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव
गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु
गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु
प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण
प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण
पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय
पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च
कार्याकार्ये भयाभये
कार्याकार्ये भयाभये
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
यया धर्ममधर्मं च
यया धर्ममधर्मं च
कार्यं च कार्यमेव च
कार्यं च कार्यमेव च
अयथावत् प्रजानाति
अयथावत् प्रजानाति
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं च कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं च कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता
मन्यते तमसावृता
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादमदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं
विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधम्
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधम्
शृणु मे भरतर्षभ
शृणु मे भरतर्षभ
अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र
अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र
दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधम् शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधम् शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव
परिणामे मृतोपमम्
परिणामे मृतोपमम्
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम्
तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम्
आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम् तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमम् तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम् विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात्
यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्
यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम्
परिणामे विषमिव
परिणामे विषमिव
तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम् परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमम् परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम्
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम् तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थम् तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तम्
तत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तम्
यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः ब्राह्मणक्षत्रियविशां
शूद्राणां च परन्तप
शूद्राणां च परन्तप
कर्माणि
प्रविभक्तानि
स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः
स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः
ब्राह्मणक्षत्रियविशां शूद्राणां च परन्तप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः
ब्राह्मणक्षत्रियविशां शूद्राणां च परन्तप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः शमोदमस्तपः शौचम्
शमोदमस्तपः शौचम्
क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च
क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च
ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यम्
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानमास्तिक्यम्
ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
शमोदमस्तपः शौचम् क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यम् ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
शमोदमस्तपः शौचम् क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानौ विज्ञानमास्तिक्यम् ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
शौर्यं तेजोधिर्दाक्ष्यम्
शौर्यं तेजोधृतिर्दाक्ष्यम्
युद्धे चाप्यपलायनम्
युद्धे चाप्यपलायनम्
दानमीश्वरभावश्च
दानमीश्वरभावश्च
क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
शौर्यं तेजोधृतिर्दाक्ष्यम् युद्धे चाप्यपलायनम् दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
शौर्यं तेजोधृतिर्दाक्ष्यम् युद्धे चाप्यपलायनम् दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्यवाणिज्यम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्यवाणिज्यम्
वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजम्
वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजम्
परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म
परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म
शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्यवाणिज्यम् वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजम् परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्यवाणिज्यम् वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजम् परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः
संसिद्धिं लभते नरः
संसिद्धिं लभते नरः
स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं
स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं
यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Thank you so much for the wonderful chantings by all our chanters. So it was really beautiful. The verses given, the meanings of the verses given in the earlier slides are from different commentators of the Bhagavad Gita. Great commentators of Bhagavad Gita like Swami Chimanandaji, Swami Dayanandaji. The abbreviations are given here: Swami Gambhirananda, George Feuerstein, and they basically cover various traditions as well as academic as well as non-academic, Eastern and Western ideas as well as Bhakti as well as Jnana traditions. So it actually covers a wide range of viewpoints from which Bhagavad Gita is looked at. So it tries to give a complete picture of the Bhagavad Gita. Now we go over to the Gita Mahatmyam, the glories of the Bhagavad Gita. So this will be chanted by Vinod Rishi.
Atha Gita Mahatmyam Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yav Pathet Prayatah Puman Vishnoh Padamavapnoti Bhayashokadivarjitah Gita-dhyayanashilasya Pranayama-parasya cha Naiva santi hi papani Purvajanmakritani cha Malanirmochanam pumsam Jalasnanam dine dine Sakrit Gitam bhasi snanam Samsaramalanashanam Gita sugita kartavya Kimanyai shastra vistaraihi Yasvayam padmanabhasya Mukha padmadvinisrita Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnor-vaktradvinisritam Gita gangodakam pitva Punarjanmana vidyate Sarvopanishado gavaha Dogdha gopalanandanaha Partho vatsas sudhir bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam mahat Ekam shastram devaki putra gitam Eko devo devaki putra eva Eko mantrastasya namani yani Karmapyakam tasya devasya seva.
Sudeva Sudha. Okay, thank you so much, Abhinavji, for that beautiful chanting of Gita Mahatmyam. Now we are going to have the next segment is the Swami talk for the session. This is a widely anticipated session by Swami Samachitanandaji, whose wonderful words of wisdom we have heard a few times earlier, and we are eagerly waiting, listening to his talk. Over to Swamiji. Swamiji is the president of Ramakrishna Mission Singapore, and he's a very active participant of most of the Gita Jayanti's events, including the last week's function. The event was blessed by the presence of Swamiji. Over to Swamiji, please.
I'm clear?
Very clear, Swamiji. Very clear.
Thank you. So first and foremost, thank you very much for all of individuals who are participating in this Gita Jayanti's how to say, without this active participation, not only in chanting and organizing and doing all different activities to make it fruitful, but we are living in this world where the old ideas of tapasya, the old ideas of penance, people going to Himalayas, people going to forest, people going to seclusion, sometimes we feel, is this tapasya meant for us? We are not able to leave. You can take leave of a week or 10 days and go somewhere. But this doesn't seem to be for a common man. For a common man, we are monks, it is in our hand. We may, I write an email to our headquarters, oh, enough is enough, I want to go away from here. I may be given transfer, I can sit down in Himalayas somewhere, could be. That too, if I am not habituated with this set of mind of tapasya, even seclusion will not help. Seclusion is necessary, as Ramakrishna puts it. Every now and then, all of us should find sometimes in seclusion. How you find in seclusion? Can you leave your children? Can you leave your husband, wives? No, you cannot. So our mind has to be in seclusion. Very funny way, but it's a very practical way, that at least once in a week, maybe partially, to be away from this digital screen in form of Facebook, in form of Twitter, Instagram, TV, YouTube. Just take a break. Just take a break. And you will find it is so much giving relaxation to the mind. Most of you should be knowing at this point of time, the most buzzing word in Singapore society is the mental health. COVID has affected us physically, but also the lingering effect of COVID and the safe management measures we all took. We couldn't come out of our home, we couldn't go to market, we couldn't meet people, etc., etc. That is told on the mental health of the people. And Bhagavad Gita and these online sessions which we are doing, many swamis, many scholars, many devotees, they form their own small group. Gita Jayanti is a good big platform for so many people to come on board. But people have created their own small group, 2, 3, 4, 5 people reading books and contemplating and discussing, etc. So I think in the modern time, I will try to restrict my discussion today from this point of view, that Bhagavad Gita's 18th chapter, I'm taking half today, half next when the opportunity will come. But from this point of view, we shall discuss. You have chanted several times, you have heard many scholars. So I will not go into the word and the shlokas and the anvaya and the sandhi and all. We don't want to go for that. More or less meaning we all understand. The basic meanings we understand. So today we take from this point of view how the 18th chapter, which is the pinnacle, which is the last, the end. We say Vedanta. The one meaning of the Vedanta is that which is end of the Vedas. Actually, it is end of the chapters of the Vedas. When Upanishad comes, the Jnanakanda comes. Every chapter is Upanishad. Every chapter is part of Vedas. But this Jnanakanda comes at the end. That is one meaning of Vedanta. Second meaning of Vedanta is the meaning, Anta is the last essence, or the meaning of Vedas is called Vedanta. So anyway, so this is 18th chapter is right at the end of Bhagavad Gita. And it says about moksha sannyasa. The very purpose of life is to achieve this moksha. People have different ideas about moksha. Moksha is not running away. Moksha is to understand that yes, I am free. I as an Atman have nothing to do. Sri Krishna has told about himself that Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. I do not have any duty towards anything. But still I do. Because if I don't do as an ideal, and remember one thing, all of us are ideal, all of us are followers. If you say whether I'm elder or younger, I'm elder to many, I'm younger to many, correct? In the same way, we are ideals to many people. Every parent is an ideal for the children. And we are followers of many, correct? So in the same way, moksha, sannyasa, these are the charamagati. These the eventually we want to achieve that. All the goals which we find in between are the immediate goals of our life. But the final goal is moksha. Problem in Hinduism is that final moksha we interpret as our immediate goal and then misunderstand the totality of the concept. We need to do what we need to do. Nitya karma we must do. Naimittika karma we must do. That which is prohibited karma we should avoid. All these are simple injunctions given in our scriptures. So we see today, little time we have, that how this 18th chapter is showing us way towards that final goal, which is moksha. And the moksha cannot be achieved without renunciation, tyaga. How to renounce? What householders can renounce? Even we became a monk, still we are holding many things which sometimes say, enough is enough. I must go away from here. So what is this tyaga? Look at this Krishna before 3,000, 3,500 years before. What a clarity of thought for that date. What a clarity of thought when most of the world was in darkness. Most of the world did not know how to wear clothes. And here, Sri Krishna is talking about philosophy of life. From a historical point of view, if you see, this is unprecedented. No present available religion was there at that time. All the religions came after this. Same God has created this religion to open up more and more paths for people to come towards the same God. But think historically, that 3,500 years before, bringing the extract of the Vedas, which are more than 5,000 to 10,000 years old, that extract he is giving to Arjuna right in the battlefield. We do not know. All of you are chanters. If you have to chant the whole Bhagavad Gita, even single time, no repetition, still it will take, whatever speed you take, not less than 2 hours to 3 hours. And Sri Krishna is not only telling the slokas, he is explaining to Arjuna. So I do not know whether it was a real battlefield where people are ready with bows and arrows, but it is a battlefield of our life. We all are struggling in our life in our own way. Who is our enemy? Atmaiva yatmano bandhu, atmaiva ripuratmana. We are enemies of ourselves, nobody else. Nobody need to be blamed. Only blame is to be taken on my own shoulder. If I'm suffering, it's because of me. If I'm happy, I become liberal that everybody is helping me to be happy. But if I'm miserable, it is because of my attitude towards the life. Okay, so we see from this point of view, moksha, sannyasa, yoga. Keeping that in mind, we shall discuss a few things. Okay, you chanted just now that the sattvika karta, the sattvika buddhi, the sattvika jnana, etc., etc. We don't have enough time to discuss all sattva, rajas, tamas manifestation in our life. So sattvika, we understand anything lower than that is rajasa, anything lower than rajasa is tamasika. Keeping that in mind, and all of you are studying Bhagavad Gita, so concepts are not new to you. So we see from sattva point of view, because sattva is the last station. After that, goal will come. You know that beautiful story is there. A man was going in a forest. 3 dacoits came to him and they want to rob him. They want to loot, take away everything from him. And they took away. So one of them says, we can't leave him like this. Let us kill him. Otherwise he can become a witness in future. The second person said, no, 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 no. Why should we kill him? Let us tie him with a tree so that he cannot be free. By the time we shall flee. They tied him and went away. The third thief, the third dacoit came back. And I'm so sorry, we give you trouble. I let you free. You go your home. So the gentleman says, That fellow wanted to kill me. Other fellow wanted to bind me with the tree. You are here to make me free. You are such a great person. Come to my home, have a cup of tea. The third person says, no, 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 no. I cannot come to the city. I cannot come to your home because I am also one of the dacoit, one of the thieves. Police will catch me also because I am one of the game. That which wanted to kill that person is tamas. That who wants to bind is rajas. Sattva has a capacity to free us, but sattva is not the goal of life. Sattva also is dacoit. His company is not till the end of our life. When we go beyond the sattva, rajas and tamas, triguna atita, 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita gives a big emphasis on this. We have to be free from even sattva. But that is a very far reach goal in our life. So we leave tamas, we keep little rajas. All these activities we are doing, a big function, big people, so many people come, food arrangement, this arrangement, these are all rajas. Then comes sattva, sitting in a silent corner of your house, meditating on the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. If you are lucky enough to have that pining for God realization, then you shed tears to God and say, I am doing everything, but I have no glimpse of you in any way. Help me to have that. That becomes sattva. And when you go beyond that, then only moksha or mukti is possible. So many times, funnily they say, do you think this liberation, salvation, moksha, mukti is hanging like a fruit on the tree? You will just go and pluck it? No. Rishis are doing tapasya births after births. It's not question of one birth. Until our mind is completely pure, completely free. Moksha is not within our reach. I remember when one lady came, I don't know her, and she so casually is asking me, I want moksha, how to get it? I say, moksha is not opening a email account in Gmail, you see. So you have to do only one condition is there, and that is purification of mind. If you are tamasic, leave your tamas, be rajas, slowly renounce the rajas, come to sattva, then try to go beyond it. But it's a tapasya, it's a practice. You cannot become Virat Kohli on the first day. You have to do so much net practice before, and that also you fail many times. It's not that every time success comes to your side. So, but intense tapasya mentally is required. So, we need to renounce. What to renounce? What you can renounce? You can renounce only those things which belong to you. Correct? If I proudly tell to you, 40 years before I renounced my home. That home was constructed by my father, not me. So there is no question of renouncing home comes. That which was yours, all your ill qualities, bad qualities, all your ahankara, all your tamas, that only we have to renounce. So Sri Krishna clearly says, what to renounce? Kamyanam karmanam nyasam. You need to renounce that desires from your actions. Nobody can do action without expecting some fruits. Yes, you expect fruits, you do it, you will get it. But hankering only for that and forgetting everything and then taking tamas or rajas some support and keep on doing actions in life is not the goal. Kamyanam karmanam nyasa. That karma, which is kamya karma, nishkama karma is always praised. For example, for Gita Jayanti program, all of you in a different capacity are working for that. How many of you are remunerated for that? Oh, because we give you $100 per day. If somebody is an employed person, he will do. He also is working for Gita Jayanti only, no doubt about it. But those who are devotees and volunteers, they do not want anything out of this except Hari Kripa. Nothing else you want. Nothing else you want. And that is to renounce a practice. Not what you are doing is a practice to renounce the kamya karma, that which is done with the expectation of something. I saw Gita Jayanti 25 years. You congratulated many people. You gave certificates to people. You gave awards and plaques to people. That is a part of formality. None of them were expecting that from you. If you would not have given that, none of them will come to you. I did so much. You didn't even praise me in front of people. No. As the volunteers do not want money in the same way, they do not want your appreciation also. It is collectively goodness that we appreciate each other. But appreciation was never the goal of any of you for doing Gita Jayanti work. This is a purest example which all of you and all of us can connect with, that we renounce the actions which are full of desires. It is something we are doing where our personal desire doesn't come into picture. But then what to renounce? Kamyanam karmanam nyasam. But what is this renunciation? Renunciation itself is what? Again, Krishna has to say, Sarva karma phalatyagam. The result of your action, the fruits of your action have to be renounced. Every action has result. Any action we take has a result. And that result will come. Maybe it will come to you and you may have to digest also, not expecting that. Result will come. You distributed the plaques and certificates and etc. etc. It will come to you. Chairman and everybody will congratulate you. Oh, thank you very much for it. This thank you will come to you because that is the result of your karma. But you did not expect that. It will come. So Sri Krishna says, Sarva karma phala. When you do action, that karma phala you renounce. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't come, also I'm happy. That state of mind is a sattvika mind which prompts you to do some karma which are nishkama karma. You know, Hinduism is such a practical way of doing work. Every religion has this aspect, not that Hinduism is the only religion who has this aspect, but a service to God, service to human beings, service to the organizations which propagate positivity in the society. And then you be attached to it, and every drop joins together becomes a flow of water. More drops come, it becomes a stream. Many streams put together becomes a river, and many rivers together becomes a mighty ocean, which is God himself. So when you are a drop, or you are part of a stream, or you are part of a river, eventually you are God. H2O is the same, whether you are a drop or the ocean. There is a beautiful concept in Vedanta. Whatever we do, we are jivas, we are individual souls. We are doing our own way of doing tapasya, taking the name of God, serving the society. Whatever we do, we can never become Ishvara. We can never become Ishvara. But what we can become is what of Ishvara has become. There are ripples in the ocean, and there are big waves like tsunami waves. A small ripple cannot become the wave. But big wave and a small ripple both are made of water. That water is God, of whom we are made of. Our divinity is the same. Manifestation is a little different, little more or little less. That's okay. But the divinity is not in percentage. In you there is 5%, in me there is 3%, in somebody there is 10%. No, we are fully divine. Only our knowledge about our divinity differs. The more the mind will be cleaned, the more mind will be pure. We will have that realization more and more that yes, I am divine. That's the only practice. That's the only religion. That is the only spiritual practice we are supposed to do. If I see my picture here on the screen, but my screen is very dirty. So I have to wipe my screen. so that my face becomes clear. In the same way, if I clean my mind, my own reflection, in a way, my own realization of myself becomes more and more clear. Then you renounce everything? No. Krishna said, no, don't renounce everything. Something you have to practice also. Renouncing means what? Yajna dana tapak karma. Don't renounce. You should not be renouncing this. Whether you do it publicly or privately, whichever way you do. Yajna. Yajna is not only the sacrifice with the fire and oblation and all that. Anything which you give back to people, anything which you do for someone is yajna. Yajna means to offer. You don't only offer the oblation in the fire. That also Bhagavad Gita has a long chapter. Different kinds of yajnas are there. Even japa is a yajna, correct? Yajna nam japa yajnosmi. What yajna you are doing while doing japa? You are continuously giving oblation, reminding to your mind or reminding to yourself and repeating the name of God. So Sri Krishna says, yajna dana. Dana, why? There are people who are more or less able than you, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whichever way, to give the knowledge. Whichever way you give a piece of bread also is dana. So we have annadana, we have vidyadana, then we have spiritual knowledge, jnanadana. Everything is dana. Whatever you have, you donate. You don't need to donate money everywhere. Your knowledge, your information, share with others and make them rich by sharing the information. Tapaha. What is tapaha? The word meaning itself is so beautiful. If you do your hand like this, just few seconds, it becomes hot, correct? That hot is called tapa, tapa, heat. The struggle which you do, the effort which you put for your spiritual practices is against your nature. Your mind was extrovert. So you're struggling with your mind as if you're rubbing with your mind. That's why it is called tapas. That heat is created, not this physical heat, but a lot of struggle in your mind. You will find those who are leading easy life, they feel that, oh, we are so blessed, I don't have any problem. No, you are not trying to go up. That's why you don't have any problem. Not to have problem in life apparently looks like grace of God, correct? No, you must struggle. If you have no struggle, you don't have pain in your life. So we must struggle. So tapa, yajna, dana and tapa. This you cannot renounce. We should keep on doing that. But how to do it? If you want to see the one word, essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, in one word, everybody will have their own opinion. That's a different thing. In my opinion is this. It's called Sangam Tyaktva or Nishkama or detachment or absence of attachment. It is not attachment with a person, no, not from that point of view. The expectation also is attachment. So here Sri Krishna says, how to do it? Sangam Tyaktva. And this Sangam Tyaktva you type for Bhagavad Gita. Sangam Tyaktva Atma Shuddhaye. Sangam Tattva, he is telling to Dhananjaya also. Why? You have to be detached. You cannot concentrate your mind in meditation if you are attached. And attachment is of two types. Either I am positively attached to people, person, place, item, article, without whom I cannot live. That's attachment in a positive sense. And there is attachment in a negative sense. You hate something so much that you continuously think about it. Eventually you are holding, correct? You are holding it. There is a story again. Two monks were staying at the bank of a river, and they are monks. So you are not supposed to be in the company of a woman because you are a monk. So both of them are walking at the bank of the river, and they found a young girl is being swayed away in the current, in the water. One monk immediately jumped in the water, rescued that girl, and told, you must take care. You cannot be careless like this. Go home. And the second monk started criticizing him. what kind of monk you are, how you can hold that girl in your arms, how you can do this, what would have happened, somebody would have saved her. So that monk was quiet, didn't argue. And the other monk went on scolding him about it. Lastly, that monk said, brother, of course I jumped in the water and saved the life of that girl. Of course I touched her for 5 minutes. But you are holding her for last half an hour. You didn't even save her. My way of looking at her was different. Your way of looking at her is different. No. Negativity is never ever appreciated in any part. So here, Sangam Tyaktva, detachment is also in the mind. It is not physical detachment that I'm away from this thing and that thing. Somebody was other day asking me, I said, Hinduism is very broad-minded, and many times what we do is not what in our scriptures. But because we know scriptures do not need to mention all these things what I'm doing, because these are initial steps of my spiritual life. Scriptures will say something very high. Whole Bhagavad Gita, you see, is there any word you came across which is called temple? No. Does it say anything about putting these marks on our forehead anywhere? No. These things are part of our culture and life. Scriptures have to say something much higher than this. There is no reference of rituals in Bhagavad Gita. Do you mean rituals are wrong? No. Bhagavad Gita is a manual which gives you the principles. Is there any place where Bhagavad Gita it is said, don't take onion, don't take garlic, don't take this flower, this fruit? No. Whichever according to you is sattvika, you take. If you want to classify that as a rajasika, tamasika, you don't take. But what is that article? Every article is sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. How to say it is not? Because it has got that quality. Yatayamam gatarasam Uti paryushitam chayat. These are all tamasika food. Yatayamam, more than 3 hours old food. Idli mawa is on the previous night. Remember that. But that is not tamasika. We don't consider it tamasika. Every food is tamasika. Why? If you take food, you feel sleepy. That's why any good work you want to do, you are supposed to fast. Why? Anything good can be done only empty stomach. Full stomach, inertia. Full stomach, sleep. That's why if you have a yajna, Suraj is here, morning fasting, at the most cup of tea, cup of coffee, finished, nothing should be taken, so that you are alert, mentally and physically. But if you take a heavy breakfast, 5, 6, 7 idlis and dosa and sambar, vada and all that, you cannot perform yajna. You will be running to washrooms every time. No. Empty stomach fasting is for this purpose. If by not eating, if you realize God, sorry, millions of people do not have food to eat. They all would have realized God by this time. No. Fasting has a purpose because every food is tamasic. Every food makes you sleep. In that respect. So here Sri Krishna says, guidelines is given to you. You decide. You decide. The pickles which we eat, it's months old. Not days and hours. It is months. Yeah, people make pickles once in a year and open the bottle, take little and cover again. It goes for the whole year. How that can be? Forget about sattvika. It is not even rajasika. It is full of tamas, but no. It is up to you to identify the food as tamasic. There is no food which Sri Krishna prescribes you to take or don't take. The food which creates this has this effect. It's a manual. You decide and practice your... Okay, so how to practice this? Sri Krishna says, Sangam Tyaktva. Detachment is the watchword for anything you do. Now, we are supposed to renounce. We are supposed to renounce. We are supposed to practice. And we are supposed to have. So we don't take this Rajasic and Tamasic classification. A few slokas, little we touch, which is the ideal at this point of time, which is called Sattvika. So what is Sattvika? Even renunciation is Sattvika. Renunciation could be Tamasika. I remember one person telling, you know, we are monks. We are expert in the art of renunciation. I say, Swamiji, sit down. Don't be so proud of your renunciation. That renunciation doesn't last longer. By the grace of God, I am trying to lead a pure life. Finished. Even with all practicality, I am telling, if I have left my hearth and home, is less of my ability, more of my parents' guidance to me, how I grew up with them, and grace of God and Guru. That whatever little I can do, I'm doing. How much renunciation belonged to me? I didn't even know what is renunciation. Correct? So these are all tamasic renunciation. So Sri Krishna says, what is sattvika renunciation? Just be detached with the fruits of your action. That much is enough. Sannyasa is not, sannyasa people take after one night of rituals we do, and then we become sannyasis. That's fine. Shaving head is not sannyasi. It's a fashion now. Young men do shaving head. This cloth is available in Teka market. You can go and buy. So what is left then? No. It is not the ritual. It is not the dress or the appearance. It is kamyanam karmanam nyasam. If you do it, you may be a householder internally. You are reaching that state of sattva. It's very interesting. These are all social aspect. Brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. These are all social. Ashrama system. It is a guidance how to lead the life. Fine. But if you are prepared, if your mind is sattvika, yesterday I was reading something. One gentleman called Singaravellu Mudaliyar. He came in contact with Swami Vivekananda. He was an atheist. Doesn't go to temple, criticizes everything that is religious. Came in contact with Swami Vivekananda, and within few days became a recluse and started leading his life just like a monk. That was a sudden thing. Inspiration came, a touch of a great person like Swamiji, and he started leading his life. So this detachment, if you can do, that is only sattvika tyaga. Different kind of knowledge we have. Most of the what we call knowledge is information. It is not knowledge. I like to give an example. I don't know whether earlier I have given or not. When you read the Upanishads, especially Taittiriya Upanishad, there are so many beautiful passages out there. And people chant, Satyam vada, dharmam chara, swadhyayanma pramadaha. Who has understood this? In a way, all of us understand. We should speak truth, Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Your actions should be morally perfect as far as possible. Swadhyayanma pramadaha. Don't be lazy in studying the scriptures, etc. Who doesn't understand this? Everybody understands. Who truly has understood this? Satyam vada, who speaks only truth and never tells lies. He has understood. Dharmam chara, the word meaning we understand. One who practices moral values. He has understood that sentence. So, knowledge and information, we have to make difference between. When we read the scriptures, it comes at the state of information. If I have so much information, you will call me a scholar. But if I have even little knowledge, you will call, oh, he's a very good man. He's a very truthful man. He's a God-fearing man. He's a very religious person, this and that. You have to imbibe those information into your life and make it a wisdom and knowledge. Information is not knowledge. Information anybody can collect. An atheist can speak on love of God because he is a well-informed person. But when really a lover of God who has renounced his attachment with the word, when he or she speaks about love of God, is altogether a different thing. So understanding is this, that we have to have this sattvika knowledge. Sri Krishna says sattvika knowledge is only one who will see the same reality in everybody. That is the knowledge, the remaining all information. This information comes, you have to upgrade it. Your system upgrades, correct? That we have to do it. Then karma which we do, you will see every time this word comes called detachment. Sattvika karma. What is sattvika karma? One who does the karma with detachment. One who has minimum likings and dislikings. Minimum attachment and hatred. Attachment and aversion. His actions or his karma is sattvika karma. One who doesn't hanker behind the result of his action. So detachment, non-hankering from the result, and minimum likings and dislikings, minimum love and hate within your karma. That's why we have a beautiful word called Ajata Shatru. King Emperor Ashoka was told Ajata Shatru, but much later, when he accepted Buddhism and started, before that he was a killer. He was a mass killer. So, if you have less and less hatred for people, if anybody, not many people, even one or two people also know, if somebody is a bad person, pray for him. God bless him. But you don't keep hatred. There was a Muslim woman saint called Rabia. Someone asked Rabia, do you love Allah? She said, with all my heart. She said, do you hate Satan? Rabia says, if any part of my heart which is hating Satan, with that part also I will like to love God. There is no place of hatred in a spiritual person's heart. If that is there, then then your karma, actions which you do is a sattvika karma. Then there is a karta, actions. We do actions, so we are the actors. We are the people who do karma. Who are these people? One who is not egoistic. You know who am I? Do you know who am I? Do you know I can do this for you? No. This agentship is tamasika or rajasika. Sattvika person doesn't do that. Lot of zeal is there doing work. Sometimes I see the zeal with which you people are doing Gita Jayanti work. Sometimes I do not know whether that much work you do for your business or your office, because this is something you love. So you don't mind in coming to odd hours, doing odd type of job. In your home or in your business, you may have so many assistants to clean your office. But here, to sweep the floor of the temple is a privilege. Correct? So karta is this one. Sattvika karta is this one. It is not the action. Sri Ramakrishna beautifully says, God doesn't see the work. God sees the mind of the devotee. If you are doing that with a devoted mind, small work or a big work, both are same. If all of us are acting in a drama, I am playing a role of a servant and you are playing a role of a king. At the end of the drama, our payment is the same. We get the same prasad, whether I become a thief or you become a king or a saint or whatever. This is the word. Inside divinity is the same. There is no difference in anybody, whomsoever you are. That's why in Hinduism and in India, we do namaste to people, correct? Why we do namaste is namaskaram to one who, because you are divine. You are divine. That's why this pranam and namaste is there, that we respect or we adore the divinity within you. So again, this comes one who is less and less detached with minimum liking and disliking, one who is full of zeal and full of tenacity in doing God's work or the positive work. This karta is a sattvika karta. I don't know how much time I have. Please let me know.
You can take another 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, sure. Then there are three more sattvika aspects are there. We just touch it and go forward. Then the buddhi also. What is buddhi? Intelligence. Intelligence is not the correct translation of buddhi. Even in our scriptures, in one place, it is Buddher bodho na jayate. Buddhi also is very dull in front of Atman. Because of Atman, the Buddhi feels, because it is closer in proximity. That's why it feels that I am very intelligent. These are examples given in our scriptures. If you keep a flower next to the prism will look the color of the flower, as if it imbibes the color of a flower. In the same way, the physical body, indriyas, then the mind, and then the buddhi. Buddhi is, though very far, but is the closest to the Atman. That's why we find intelligence is very good. Buddhir bodho na jayate. No, buddhi cannot have this realization. That's why in many times the youngsters will read and say, by buddhi I cannot realize God, by mind I cannot realize God, by body I cannot. How to realize God? Beautifully it is said, purify your mind. Pure mind, pure buddhi, and pure Atman are the same. Once the glass is clear, what is the other side of the glass becomes clear to you. So, idea is this. So, what is the Sattvika Buddhi? Very practical side of the story, Sri Krishna says here. One to understand when to be active and when to withdraw. In the field of karma, one to understand how much to be active, how much to withdraw, where to do and how to do. Then he says, one to understand the difference between duty and non-duty. I should do my dharma, I should do my duty. Unless and until you request me to step in, I should not be encroaching your freedom. You do your duty, I do my duty. You require my help, I'm always there. I require your help, you're always there. That's the idea. But then sometimes we say, I'm not afraid of anything. No, you should be afraid. You should be afraid of the falsehood. You should be afraid of something that you should not by mistake do something negative. So one who understands the fear and fearlessness also, and one who understands the bondage and freedom, these are all concepts by themselves. We can talk for hours about this only. So that buddhi who has capacity to understand this, the finer aspect of the working of our mind and intellect, if you understand that buddhi is called Sattvika Buddhi, then he says there is dhriti, tenacity, holding power to hold on to, the firmness. Which is the Sattvika firmness? There is a word called Hatha. Don't mistake it with Hatha Yoga. Hatha is Hathakarita, that Hatha. To be stubborn. The stubborn and tenacity and stubbornness is not the same. So Sri Krishna says, what is this tenacity? Which is Sattvika tenacity? One who is capable of restraining one's mind and one's senses. That tenacity is real tenacity. If you say that my firmness, my resolution is so powerful, I smoke every day 1 packet of cigarette, I will not leave it, I am very firm, my resolution. This is not resolution. Yes, if you say, I renounce smoking now, and I will never smoke, that you can say resolution. So Sattvika resolution is this. Sattvika dhriti is this, that you will be able to restrain your mind. You will be able to restrain your vital forces, as it says in Bhagavad Gita, and your organs. Up to certain extent, beautiful sloka is how much considerate Lord Krishna is. He says, Tasmat Indriyani Adav Niyamya Bharatarshava. At least try to control little of your senses. You may not be master of your senses, but without beginning, without little control, Adav means in the beginning, have little control over your senses. No, I was not, I was in another mind. By mistake, I told these words to him or her. You cannot use it. The speaking ill words, bad words in a bad manner created the whole thing. Ramayana was created, Mahabharata was created because of this uncontrolled tongue. Lakshmana nicely told to Sita, mother, don't go out of this line. It will protect you. No, your brother is calling. No, I am here to protect you. No, you have a bad eye on me. I don't know really it happened or not, but this is a story. No. So idea is this, anywhere we are, we should think twice. Many times I feel, yes, anytime I send a message, I feel, should I send a message or not? If not necessary, let me not send. If necessary, I send is okay. And provided if this other person, the other side, should be able to appreciate if I am saying something to him or her. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't do it. So when to withdraw, when to be active. So these are the ideas that to restrain your mind, restrain your organs and indriyas, up to as much extent we can do is the quality of the sattvika dhriti. So the last point Sri Krishna says about it is, we all are looking for happiness. What is that happiness which gives pain to others? I cannot be happy if I give you pain. Correct? So Sri Krishna says that sattvika sukha comes out of your control. Yattadagre vishamiva. In the beginning, it is like a poison, so bitter. I was thinking what example can be given for the sattvika sukha. I say very easy. All the medicines which you take is sattvika sukha, in a way. Nobody likes to take medicine. It is painful or distasteful at least. But we know at the end the result will be good. That's why you take medicine. So sattvika sukha is not always beginning to end happiness. No. You do tapasya, then moksha comes. You work hard, then the exam result is good. You put so much time and energy and mind in cooking, then only food becomes good. So all the tapasya what we do is called sattvika sukha at the end. In the beginning, it may be, or it may not be. So keeping that in mind, from where we started today, that the goal of all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita is nothing but moksha. Bhagavad Gita Shu, Upanishatsu, Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastra. Moksha is the eventual goal. Yoga is the process. You take any yoga you like, Jnana Bhakti Karma, Raja, whichever yoga you like. Eventually, that day, remember when you advertised about Sarvapriyan's lecture, he also for a very short video, he mentioned this only. Religions are paths only. Goal is only God. God is only one. So, idea is this, that whatever Bhagavad Gita says is showing the light on your path to reach to this final destination, which is called moksha. And moksha is not leaving all of you and I become liberated. No. Moksha is to know the truth. Moksha is not the truth. Moksha, every day we have a moksha, you know that? When you come out of your sleep, come out of your dream and wake up, you are getting salvation from your dream, which was an imaginary land, which was something imagination. This world is imagination. Yesterday I got news of two of people whom I knew well, both of them passed away. One because of cancer, one was 40 years old. Can you believe how much work he did as a homeopathic doctor? He put his life into risk and went everywhere to save the lives of the people. And a time came when he had to leave this world. Moksha is to be free from this state, which is a dream state, to reality, that I am a soul, that I am an Atman, that I am one with God, is the goal of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the first half. Second half we shall take on the next opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for that amazing and wonderful speech. You have given so many practical examples on how the Gita should be applicable to our life. And I think that's the most important, that we should actually have relevance to our current life. Otherwise, all these talking imagination and reveling or indulging in intelligence or intellectual debates is not really useful unless it really translates to action and translates to how our mind is controlled. And I think we will continue till the lecture, and somebody will be here to answer some questions from the audience, right? So at the end of the after this, at the end of this session, so we'll have a open question and answer session that people can ask questions to somebody. Okay, now we will get back to our, once again, thanking so immensely to Swamiji's for his wonderful words of wisdom. Now we have the our Nandya has not joined yet, so I think I will take up this mini quiz. As usual, as always, we will have this. We have this small mini quiz about 5 questions of 2 types. So this is based on chapter 18 up till the portions are chanted today. And this is in the last session we had covered up to chapter verse 14, and today we took up from verse 14 to 45. So we'll this set of questions are actually about covering up to about 30 or 40 verses. So the answers are not given here. It's purely an online quiz and meant to be answered online through a Google form. The link is actually given here. The last one, all the previous sessions quizzes are there still even now. You can always take a look. And for this it is Gita Mini tinyurl.com/Gita Mini Quiz S17. S17 stands for session 17. So the questions are basically meant of 2 types. The first one is to be answered in a few words, 5-6 words, and second one is to be answered in a paragraph of about 20 words. So basically the whole idea is to that you actually go into the real text of the Bhagavad Gita, which are chanted today, so that you understand the at least essential ideas of these 40, approximately 40 or 30 to 40 verses that are being chanted regularly. So for today's first question is 1801 Sannyasa Samhabaho. Lord Krishna is being addressed as Keshi Nishudana. So this is one. This is actually a question based on Puranas. So what is this meaning of the word Keshi Nishudana? Even though it's Lord Krishna only, but actually the word is Keshi. It comes from killing of the word of the Keshi. So who is this Keshi? So that is a question here. So basically to go a little bit into the meanings of the words that are used here. And now the next question is basically, like Swamiji also talked about it, what are the 3-fold actions which are not renounceable? They should not be renounced. Lord Krishna says that these 3 actions should not be renounced, and even these 3 actions need to be performed with what attitude? Even the 3-fold actions that which should not be renounced, even they should be performed with certain attitude of mind. So this is what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So what are these actions, and with what attitude should they be performed? So that is the second question. The third question is that what are the 5 characteristics of right attitude by which if action is to be performed? With such actions it becomes sattvic renunciation as per 18.9. So karyam ityeva yad karma. So there is a verse here. So here Lord Krishna talks about 5 characteristics of attitude by which an action should be performed, and if so, it becomes itself a tyaga or a renunciation. And in 18th verse of the same chapter, the 3-fold impetus for action and 3-fold basis of our constituents of action are given here. What are the 3? So there is what are the 3-fold drivers of action, and what are 3-fold constituents or essence of action? So there is a question here. And the next one is, what is the nature of sattvic resolve or fortitude or dhriti? Dhritya ya dharete. So again, Swamiji also talked about it, this dhriti, the nature of sattvic dhriti. So that is a question here. Next, it is about to be answered in a bit longer words. So what are the 5 factors for accomplishment of all actions as per 9.14? Explain the 5th factor given mentioned here. So here he says the actions are to be the accomplishments of action. There are 5 factors for every one of them, and actually Lord Krishna says even mental or physical or even word actions. All these things actually need 5 factors. So what are the 5 factors, and the 5th factor? So that is a very interesting because there are multiple interpretations to the word. That is why the question is asked here. So next 3 questions or the next 4 questions are all basically like Swamiji said. We cannot talk about the entire thing that was discussed. So at least we focus on the sattvic aspects of jnana. What is sattvic? What is the nature of sattvic karma, and what is the nature of sattvic karta or the doer or the agent of action, and sattvic buddhi or the intelligence. As per so the jnana is talked about in verse 20, karma is talked about in verse 23, and the karta or the doer of action is talked about in verse 26, and sattvic buddhi is talked about in verse 30. So these are the questions here. So again, once again, I'll go back to the link. The link is tinyurl.com, Gita mini quiz S17. These actually you can go back to the YouTube or the Facebook, and these questions will always be there. And anyway, in any case, you can just type out this tinyurl.com mini Gita mini quiz S17. You will get questions for today, and you'll also get questions for all the previous sessions too. So the whole objective is to understand the Gita, to go into the text of the Gita itself, and not just be in a superficial level. Okay, now we end the sessions with the formal part of the session with the concluding mantras, and this will be done by Sunilji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanyantaramurtaye Amritakalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Mahavishnave Swaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsajanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bante Jagadgurum Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakriti Swabhava Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaeti Samarpayami. Om Purnamada Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you so much, Sunilji.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much. Anything expected of me?
KKG something happened.
KKG.
Hariom.
Hariom.
Swami, we are talking about sannyasi not having to do the take away the robes and everything. I was reminded of one Tirukural.
Yes.
Line 7 words verses in Tamil. He says, just I thought share it with you. Pazhithalum neetalum venda ulagam pazhithathu oithu vidu. What he says is that the 7 words is that you don't have to grow a beard or shave your head, provided all you have to do is give up or don't. I mean, this what the great scholars have prescribed.
Correct.
That if you follow that, then you don't have to do anything outside. I was reminded when he said that sannyasi doesn't have to wear that.
Yes.
Swami, sorry, this thing got kicked out. I got exited from Zoom. It just got reconnected. So there is one, the final announcement. Srinivasi, you want to give announcement on this Gita Parayan?
Okay, I think everybody is so much aware of it now. I think these things we are trying to do it on the 4th December on a large scale. Because we are not going to get a Moksha Edasi again on a Sunday for quite some time. So this is a great opportunity for us to join together and chant and probably make it a unique occasion to remember for the Silver Jubilee. The registrations are not only low, but slow also at the moment. So we request you to spread the word around so that we get the maximum of chanters filling up the hall. That's one of the things we want to. And the registration is very simple. Bit.ly GJ MEP. GJ means Gita Jayanti, MEP Moksha is the Parayan 22. So very easy to remember. So you can link on that. And lecture will be on the Parayan lectures, which we are all eagerly awaiting. It will be on Saturday 3rd, Monday 5th, 6th, and 7th. The flyer gives all the details, which is also in circulation. Please do come and get to see Swamiji in action, in live, in person, because we have been seeing him for online for last 3 quarters. So this is a very good opportunity to hear him also, along with we have darshans of both Swami Samachitanandaji and Sarvapriyanandaji together also on the stage. That will be our added blessing. So please do come and join the lectures.
An important note is that there is no streaming. So you have to come physically there to the PGP hall if you want to listen to him. So.
And maybe it could be uploaded on the YouTube channel later on, but that may not be the exact version of, the feel will not be there. So please do come and support in great number. The response is very good. And one thing I want to add is that a lot of questions are being asked, especially those who are not familiar with the International Gita Forum format. They're asking whether I can buy tickets, whether I have to register and all. Nothing. You have to just walk in and sit. Only piece of advice we are now sharing, going by the responses, is that come early, because the seating is on first come, first taken basis. So come earlier and pick up your choice seats quickly in the auditorium. All the programs are on PGP hall, and light dinner will be served every day after that talk. So you don't have to bother about other arrangements. So you can enjoy the talk with full intently and without worries. Thank you.
Peace for the mind, prasadam for the body.
Yeah.
So that's all the enough announcements for today. And the next Parayan, the final session on 18th session will be on 26th of November, same time. So we hope to meet you all at the session. So this is the end of the formal part of the thing. And now I will actually.
Swamiji will be, sorry, Krishnapatji. On the 18th session, final session, Swamiji will be talking, delivering the part 2 of the lecture of chapter 18. So there is no suspense. Please do come and listen to Swamiji once again. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Yeah, now the thing is open. People can ask questions. So anybody want to ask any questions on either today's or any other general questions, Swamiji is available here. There are some questions asking, can it be online also? Somebody from India.
So even though we attend பண்ணிட்டோம், we know நிறைய நீங்க சொல்லிட்டீங்க, Gita we know. Lot of people has talked about it, 1 to 18 chapters. But எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன ஆசை request மாதிரி. ஷார்ட்டா or gist theme from chapter 1 to 18. Mukyama important things what Krishna has told. Which slokas, koncham or shorter or mini mari important if we know focus with the meaning and we can chant it easily. Later in future can do that. Chinna request, that's all.
See, if
No,
you
to the group I am telling, not to Swamiji.
Okay.
Actually, as far as I know that Ramana Maharshi has taken 40 verses of Bhagavad Gita, which he considered to be as important. And I think there are also some other people also have selected a few verses. And I don't know if there is, maybe somebody can help in choosing the verses, maybe a few verses from each chapter, which could be representative or the most important verses. Is it okay, Swamiji?
Yeah, I have a small opinion of mine. Either you follow, as you just now rightly said, that Ramana Maharshi selected 40 slokas. I rather will say, because everybody's mindset is different. What you think your immediate spiritual ideal or path, whichever way you want to consider, you study the Bhagavad Gita and select your slokas. 10, 15, 20 slokas which you will like to repeat. See,
that is a nice idea. I agree with you, correct.
Because you see, I tell you 5 slokas, that is according to me. Correct. So you study it, you select your slokas. This Likhita Bhagavad Gita, which you have started, is such a good practice, one thing. And I was thinking this only, when you write it, general meaning also you understand along with that, and that's the best way to have a Gita of your own to do Parayana in future, because you have written down in your handwriting, and then select some shlokas out of it which you think are motivating, inspiring you, and that will change. Today these 5 shlokas, maybe after 2 years I may have another 5 shlokas which are, because that on my spiritual state which helped me to go to the next level, you see. So that is what I feel like. But many people have told, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mahashucha, seems to be by many people is the one shloka which could be inspiring. But again, it depends on our mindset, what we want. Because people understandings are so different. Bhagavad Gita is one book. Hinduism gives this freedom of interpretation, and people have interpreted their own way. Actually, you see, the Balagangadhar Tilak says, karma is the only thing Gita says. But karma sannyasa also is there. How you can say karma? But it is his view. We have nothing to say about somebody, you see. So according
that is Tilak. Tilak is one of the most knowledgeable persons in our scriptures, you know, and his writings on the Gita and other our spiritual practice is so amazing. And he says that karma is the essence. So that's really...
So because he was a freedom fighter. So it is, if moksha is the goal of life, how karma can be the goal of life? Karma is a path which leads you to moksha. But it is his view. I mean, who are we to say about the great people, correct? So that's why we all have our own life. So let us select our few slokas and go forward. Actually, every book when we read, there should be our goal that let me select the passages and lines. I don't need to go through the whole book. Those passages and lines will inspire me. So that's how many people read also.
Somebody, I have a question. The last few verses that we chanted, 43, 44, 45. So everywhere there we takes, Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Then there is Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam. Then there is Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Shudra Shabhi Swabhavajam. So what exactly is the meaning of the word Swabhavajam? Because it looks like to be that is talking about the kind of professions or the work that you can do. I think it looks like that.
I understand this, that see, earlier we have classified people as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There is other way of looking at that. All the 4 varnas are in us. sometimes we behave like a Shudra, we behave like a Vaishya, we behave like Kshatriya and Brahmana. Because otherwise the Brahmanatva was the goal of Hindu society. That eventually everybody has to be converted into that Brahman, not that Brahmin family, but that Brahmanatva, that Brahminness, the love for the scriptures and Sattvika lifestyle and always busy in Vidya, study and all that. That is expected of everybody. But because of our samskaras are different, that's why we behave. We behave like Shudras, we behave like Vaishyas, we behave like Kshatriyas. So that is another way of looking at it. So I think Swabhavajam, when you say that when you are in that mind frame, that frame of mind of a Shudra, generally you choose this kind of activities. If you are a Vaishya, you choose this kind of activities. That, in my opinion, is not that there are 4 compartments and or Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are doing this kind of work. No. If you do this kind of work, you become like this. You know that famous sloka, Janmana Jayate Shudra, Sanskara Dvija Uchchate. What is the third line? Veda Pathat Bhaved Vipra Brahma Janati Brahmana. So we all have this Brahminhood in our Brahminness in our inside. We have to polish it and we become really Brahmin. For example, Swami Vivekananda was told that you are a Kayastha. You do not have even right to take sannyasa. Some people went and told him. So Swami Vivekananda told, okay, in that case, with me, your Krishna, your Rama, your Buddha is there with me. With whom who is with you? It's not questioned where I was born. One of the disciples of Swami Vivekananda was asked that you are a Brahmin. He was a Chakravarti in his Purvasrama. How you can accept a Kayastha as your guru? So that Swami, Shuddhananda, he told, it is my good fortune that it is Kayastha. Even if he would have been Shudra, I would have become his disciple. It's not question of where you are born. But our activity will show. I remember one Bengali gentleman, Brahmin, but he used to have a shoe store. He is an agency of Bata Shoes Company. So I say, you are a cobbler. Though you are born Brahmin, but you are working of a cobbler. So in a way you are Shudra. But it doesn't matter, just jokingly only. So many times our state of mind differs. This Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, we are not classified as Sattva, Rajasic or Tamasika. All the 3 gunas are in us. Sometimes we are Tamasic, sometimes we are Rajasic, sometimes we are Sattvic. Our effort should be till maximum period of time we remain as a Sattvika. Mind comes down, you become Tamasika. So tapasya or the spiritual practice is to hold your mind so that you remain on the level of Sattvika, your level of a Brahminness. It's not where you are born. We have so many saints who were born in a Shudra, but so much inspiration to everybody, correct? Everywhere, east, west, north, south, everywhere we have this one. Even so and so, if you ask me, Sri Ramakrishna has 16 disciples. Out of that 5 monastic disciples and 1 householder, he has considered them as a Ishvara Koti. They are always the companions of incarnations. Remember, the 5 monastic disciples whom he calls Ishvara Koti, none of them are Brahmins. So to be born in a Brahmin family is not everything of life. It's good, okay. At least you are born with a good environment where people. But if my parents are not of that Brahmin quality, though holding the title of a Brahmin surname, it may not be helpful. I respect so many Swamis of our order. They are not Brahmin by birth. But I think it will take so many births for me to become like them. So my being born in a Brahmin family or non-Brahmin family, I think it is not your karma, your swabhava, your mind is more important than where you are born. We respect, if you are born in a Brahmin family, we respect. And that is the questions of the youngsters nowadays. If you are not a Brahmin, you cannot become a priest in the temple. Then his behavior is not always like a Brahmin. His behavior sometimes is like a Vaishya, Shudra, whatever. Because he doesn't claim that I have all Brahminness in me. He doesn't claim so. You select him because he's born in a Brahmin family. So now there are small movements are going on. Recently I heard in India, They trained a big team of women. Okay, this also is a limitations. There were reasons once upon a time. We have nothing against our forefathers, but why women were not allowed to worship in the traditional temples? There is no temple where women were allowed to become priests. There was a reason once upon a time. But now, if a woman feels that she is physically, mentally in proper frame, men doesn't mean always he is pure, not like that. So we should be considerate in this way. So now there is a movement. Mother's temple, but priest has to be a man only. Why? A woman can be a priest, but we are all afraid of, oh, I don't want to become the breaker of the tradition. I remember when Swami used to say, somebody like me went and told it. He says, you fire the gun. Why you want my shoulder to fire the gun? You don't tell me to do it. If you feel like doing, do it. So these are all limitations. But our fear is what, oh, if we change this, the whole Hinduism tradition. No, these are not the traditions. Spirituality is the tradition. If there are Matajis and women saints, spirituality is universal. Spirituality is not, men are not the custodians of anything. But this is age-old practices. I do not know, a time will come when maybe the society will teach us that no, it is a high time. Till today, I have not seen, neither in India nor here, where a woman is given this honor of becoming a priest of the temple, a registered priest of the temple. Why? Because there is not a tradition. But I think a time will come. If you don't allow, women will build their own temple of Mother Goddess or Vishnu or Shiva or whatever, and there's only women are allowed to worship here. What you can do? So it is better that we wake up and we give this respect. I do not know how to do it because it doesn't seem to be, big people also have not put their hand. Swami Vivekananda started this women's mutt called Sarada Mutt. There have about 27 centers, mostly in India, one in Australia. So in that, definitely nuns are the people who do worship, everyday worship of Holy Mother and Sri Ramakrishna, etc. And also Durga Puja, Kali Puja, all Ekadashi, Rama Puja, everything women only do. So that was effort from Swamiji's side that no, everything here will be done by women. But in the society in general, it is still a big step for Hindu society to think about it. What we are talking about, Vaishya, Shudra and Kayastha or Kshatriya, even the whole 50% of the society, you are not allowed to take this post. So we need to think about it. Women are there who are scholarly, are pure-minded, are eligible in every possible way. But just because of the sexual differentiation in the society traditionally, we do not dare to do something, but somebody will do it. Somebody has to do it. Though in one way, as I told, the female counterpart of Ramakrishna order, not Ramakrishna mission, is Sarada mission. So where the women are the everything they do by themselves. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Anybody else has any other questions?
Can I say something?
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, Swamiji, thank you so much, Swamiji. Beautiful talk as always. Swamiji, I just thought, you said that we are, like everybody says, it says that we are only, our own decision to be good. Some mind control, we should do it. It's within us and all that. What about the domestic violence that happens? Are we to say that the women are responsible for that? Like, is it not the circumstances that is actually on you that is actually happening? What about, like many suicides in Singapore? We had about 470 suicides. I think it is about more than two a day. That is happening in 2021. That statistics is already there. So is it not circumstances? Then the other day I saw a video which says a guy is saying that somebody is jumping off there are a lot of suicides in the London Bridge. And then somebody has written a suicide note that on the way to when I go for the suicide, if somebody is to tell me a hello, I will not be committing the suicide. That means nobody said a hello and he has committed.
Because nobody knew that you are going to jump.
Yeah, he has. They were looking at the
You tell people, I'm going to jump. If you don't say hello, everybody will say hello to you.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
maybe
when
he
you're
didn't know. He
passing
said
by.
nobody is there to give the warmth. Like there
Yeah.
is nobody to care. So what I'm trying to say is it like our own decision? Oh, we will be good. We will be nice. That is okay. We are trying to satisfy ourselves. But it's the circumstances, right? If your husband is really bad, he is going on thrashing you. Does it need an excuse? You are very good. But like, and then I went for some talks where it seems to say, ladies say, oh, maybe we said something, that is why he hit me. How can you always justify that?
I think it is more individualistic what you just now told. Nowadays, women doesn't care. Hey, if the husband is like, you get lost from there. Correct. And I appreciate, you see one thing, this is a very social discussion. It is not in the spiritual side. I don't see that. But you see, you give me one example from Indian history. Whether Ramayana, so many characters are there. Mahabharata, so many characters are there. Even 200 years before Indian or 100 years before Indian, in Indian society, we do not have equivalent word for divorce. Give me one person in history whom we have heard that he or she was divorced. We don't have that concept. Doesn't mean everything was perfect. No. What I'm telling is that the age is very different now. That's why my idea has changed drastically. I'm telling in front of everybody, I want, if possible, every woman should be financially independent. I feel very pain if I hear that a person who is very, very intelligent, efficient in her own way, for $50, $100 will tell to husband will lovingly give, no problem. And the evening husband is asking a question, what did you do with that? It's okay. There is nothing wrong in asking also if your relations are very good. But a woman should be financially independent. It is the financial dependence makes this. I have seen so many cases. We run the counseling center, etc. I run the boys' home. I understand the husband says, without my signature, you cannot even stay in Singapore. Correct? Because you are dependent. That's another issue. But when the life comes into picture, when suffering is too much, women should come out and ask for help. Because we do not know what is happening in individual household. But society, there are counseling centers. Society, there are wise people to advise. Society, there are good people to support you. There are what you say, a pro bono services are there. Even legal aids are there. There are people to support you, but you have to come out. The women, what happens, this is Indian women, which I understand. Even the same person who gives you trouble in family, unfortunately, whichever family is that, the same woman who is suffering part feels, if I go anywhere, my husband's name will be spoiled. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to become the medium to spoil my family's name. It is let me suffer a little more. When the suffering goes up more than something, then she finds, oh, there is no way then to end up my life. This is a very bad thing. That's why Singapore, you see, everywhere you get this, come out, tell, talk. Even up to certain extent, which is morally, sometimes you do not feel that it is correct. But in Singapore, it is there. If for any mistake, no, sorry, in front of all the ladies that I'm saying this, but Singapore, even abortion, you don't need the permission of your parents. You don't even know what is happening to your daughter because her dignity is there. That her dignity is lost somewhere, that nobody wants to think, but it should not be, parents should not have a bad idea about her until she later on says that, no, I did like this. So I do not know what is, society is full of problems every time. That's why the spiritual people always will say, don't go for social reform. Educate people, spiritual way, practical way, every possible way. Educate and leave them alone. Why, Because these are the social evils. If you plug it here, it will come out from different place. This is age-old system. We had a very bad practices. Sati, correct? A woman used to jump in the funeral pyre of her husband. There were few cases when the woman did not want and that pushed her, and that was wrong. Do I say that who voluntarily jumped into funeral pyre was correct? But why did they did it? Why did they do it? Because the people who invaders came, they will not even leave my dead body even if I take poison. So that part is again, I don't want to talk about it. It's too gross for me to talk. But we are human being first, and a man has a particular set of mind and set of body. Woman has equivalent, something different in them. That's why the social customs were there. I do not say all the customs were true. But in the name of freedom, I do not know whether that can be called a freedom. I want the freedom that people can look at me in a evil eyes. Is it a freedom that I invite people to molest me? I don't know why people want that freedom. But again, it is your choice. It's the women's choice. I'm not telling men and women are separate in the society. Both are complementary to each other. But wherever the suffering is there, you have to open up and talk to your parents, your in-laws, your friends, your lawyers, whomsoever you like. But very, very sad that in spite of having all kind of amenities and comfort and all that, still such a huge number of people. I know one gentleman told me other day, his relation, somebody passed away. Hey, he's a big man. I don't want to say who he is. Big man, not from money point of view, but his social position that he deals with hundreds of people every day. He came and told me, Swami, do you want to know that? One of our congregation person died, and Monday crematorium says, sorry, we do not have any slot for next 2 to 3 days. He said, from where the dead bodies are coming to be burnt? Why so many people are dying? I don't know, because of COVID, as you said, just now you told about on an average 2. Let it be 1 every day. So it is something, society is very stressful. COVID has left us. Mental health is a big issue, as just now I was telling. People are so much stressed out. People are so much sensitive. That's why any wrong statement, if you make, people can blame you. So people want to keep quiet. So there are many things affect people's life, you see. It is not only monetary. For example, if you don't have enough money to survive, tell me, so many agencies are there, government agency, private agencies, who are ready to help you. Every month, if you come to me and say, Swamiji, I need $500 every month, I will give you up to a certain extent. Then I say, sorry, I don't have that much money. Correct? Then you say, I don't have anybody to support. So society was never a perfect society. But if you have certain difficulties, the certain avenues are open for you to approach them. Singapore is full of those agencies, government and non-government agencies, who are ready to help people emotionally, from counseling point of view, even financially, everything, every way people are ready to that. But unless people come out and say, people do not know what is happening in your life, you see. I remember many years before, there was a mass in a family, whole family committed suicide in Tampines or somewhere. He has taken so much money from people, nobody is ready to help him. I do not know what could be his solution, because there is nobody who can eternally help. We have a family asking us for her HDB rental. Husband support is not there. I have a small child. I cannot go and work. My whole expenditure, somebody has to take care. You tell me, a single lady, her rental, her food, her communication, mobile phone, total expenditure, she wants somebody to help. Who will help? You tell me. So we say, okay, certain extent we shall help. You find other agencies also, because I do not know whether how much truth is there behind her. So total perfect society, perfect family, perfect human being is a myth. We are all trying for perfection, but none of us are perfect. Every society is trying to perfect. You may be calling we are #1 economy in the world, and you have millions of people who are homeless. Still, we have to tell you are number one. Could be. I do not know what is the classification. But eventually, it's a human society. The gap between rich and poor, it's a fact of life. And we have no ability to reach there and do anything about it. So I personally am telling, as a monk, I'm ready to talk to people from whatever resources we have. We help individual people. Even I was the other day, we want to start called Ramakrishna Mission Welfare Services, where people will donate and we will be able to reach out to people. There are many hundreds of agencies are there. We are not the first people to do it. But maybe we should be one more in that group who do. Already we are doing that welfare work, not that we are not doing. But I wanted to make it a more substantial welfare work so that on a long run or in a little larger way we can help to people. But I do not know. Eventually it is the society who will help us to help others. But these are all social evils, I'm telling you. What we can do is, if you have a solution, just give the solution to the people around you. And to be, I'm telling now how many people, there are 16 people at this point of time. I'm telling, other day I came to the HEB's function, I told to the Hindu youth group, I'm not young, I'm 60 plus. Okay, fine. Anywhere you think, I told to Mr. Jayachandran also, anywhere if you think I can chip in, you invited me, I speak. You tell me if I need to be helpful, I will try to do my best. Mission point of view, even any poor people, whether counseling, whether for staff, whether for boys, whatever, in whichever way, if I can be helpful in any possible way, I'm ready to do it as much as I can do it. We all do it. And let us do it. We cannot solve everybody's problem, but we can solve problems of some people, some problems. Let us do our best. That's all.
All right, thank you so much, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Somebody raised a hand. Deepak Ji. I think Deepak Ji, you want to ask a question or something? You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute. Deepak Ji, you have to unmute before speaking.
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I just wanted to know, in a way, sufferings are due to karmas, Swamiji. Am I right to?
In a way, you are right. But this proposition is little negative proposition. If your suffering is your karma, it is my karma that I should come and help you. That we don't remember.
Right.
So if I say people that you are suffering because of your karma, it's a very negative thing to tell to him or her. So we say, okay, whatever is the reason, but you are that's what Lord Buddha says in one place. If somebody is in water, and you tell how you fell in the water, he said, first rescue me out, then I will tell the whole story. Correct. So here is the thing, that when people are in trouble, maybe it is his or her karma, that's fine. But God has sent that person in front of me. It is my karma now, that whatever maximum I can do, I should do. If I don't do it, I'm incurring bad karma again. So, Gahana karmano gatihi, karma is so difficult to interpret and explain, but we try to do good to everybody. Let us do it. Let us continue to do our good work. Yeah.
Very right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji is already getting 1:30.
Yeah,
I think it's getting late.
Thank you.
So I think that is.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Swamiji and also to our.
See you on 27th, 27th again.
26th.
See you on 26th again. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Swamiji as well as our guest of honor, and also all our wonderful chanters and all people who have participated in today's session. Thank you so much, and we offer all these efforts to our lotus feet of Lord Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.